Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Grey-Bearded Summoner, and welcome back to Fire Emblem Heroes, where today, as stated, we were going to be doing the predictions for the August Special Heroes banner, which I believe is going to be T banner, but more on that later. Firstly, the normal run-through. These predictions are part what I believe is going to take place from the characters or events that have released up to this point. And the other part are my bias. Specifically for this one. Because I have 2 games picked out as one possible banner. The other side of it, though, is just completely my bias, who I'd like to see on a T banner. This moves us first, though, to the first prediction. My prediction is the fact, yes, it is going to be a T rerun banner. However, I wanted to throw this out there. If it's not T, what else could it be? My first thought is, finally, a return of a full Dancer banner. My personal recommendation, my personal thought for that, again, this one's my bias, is a Heron Cup. Where we have one Three Houses character guiding the other characters, or possibly one of a Three Houses. The duo hero would be, the harmonic hero would be a Three Houses character, along with one of the Herons from the Tellius series. Little pun there, guiding the characters through the motions of the actual Heron Cup that takes place. That gives you your Dancer in Three Houses. After that, maybe a return of the Picnic banner. That one's for you, Wiz. But then after that, it'll probably be, I mean, it could just as easily be some celebration event that I'm not familiar with, or I know the anniversary for the Three Houses release was last month. But when this banner will come out, it will have been last month. But maybe a return of, like, the Three Lords meeting up again after 5 years. Again, it'll be late and unlikely, but as I'm a fan of Three Houses, that wouldn't be a banner I wouldn't mind seeing. So, so these predictions for the characters are under the assumption that it is going to be a T banner. So, who would I like to see? The first game is Blazing Blade. And it's been a while since this little miss has happened to have an alt of any kind. Yes, she's gotten her legendary, but if I'm remembering correctly, that's minimum 6 months to more than a year ago. So, and she hasn't had an alt since. Much in the same vein, Greybeard, she's had an alt. No, she was a backpack. I don't count that. If you do, then I understand why you might say that she doesn't need one yet. Or the fact that she's had so many already. Okay, that's understandable. But, again, her last actual alt, if you're not counting Mark, was Fire Tribe. And that was 2 to 3 years ago. So, yeah, let's give the lady a little bit more love. Or if they don't, more than likely they'll just drop her emblem and drive me absolutely crazy. Yes, I just put that out into the universe. Sorry. After that, though, the second game, Shadows of Valencia. So, I pick May because, and you'll note that Bowie actually isn't on this list, though he could be one of the characters on it. That would make sense to a degree. But also, if it's the T banner, they usually serve their quote-unquote loved ones or friends. So with May, she'd be serving Bowie T, and that's how he'd show up. Jenny, just because her last alt was a picnic banner. Speaking of that. Leon. Namely because I think he'd look really good in a suit. And I don't get Valbar and Kamui in it. Valencia Kamui, not Corrin. But yeah, get Valbar and Kamui in there and he's got someone to serve. So, and then Claire. Because she's a Gen 1 unit that doesn't have an alt yet. So, any of these possibilities for the Blazing Blade Shadows of Valencia banner, I think would be appropriate. Now we move on to where my biases is really going to show. So, these are going to be a lot of familiar faces. I apologize if that's boring to you, but if I said, here, Graybeard, do a T banner. Can I do any character? Any character, as long as you're still following the duo and harmonic rules. Gotcha. So, heroes, obviously, with Leg Yarn, and Ash. Which, stopping to think about it, if this was gonna be a duo hero, it would be an interesting one, because Ash doesn't technically have any siblings. And my headcanon is that Leg Yarn would once again take the position of the older sister. Which I think would be fascinating to see that dynamic, and to have, because this is going on the assumption it's a T banner, have Levitane pouting in the background because Ash is getting the attention she normally gets. It is pouting Levitane. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is. So, that aside, who else is on the banner? And again, my preference is this is not likely to happen because we just got them on Summer 2, so it's recent. Byleth and Edelgard. These two specifically because Byleth specifically because she's got a Cypher art where she's in a server/maid outfit that would be perfect for a T banner. And Edelgard because I've seen fan art, admittedly, I've seen fan art of her in also a maid's-like outfit. And IS, hear me. The next Edelgard alt, please let it be either Three Hopes, time skip version, of course, or side ponytail Edelgard. Please. Please, please, please. That's all I'm asking. Now, those aside, who else? Ratatoskr. Tell me that doesn't look like someone who'd be serving an outfit that would be serving UT to begin with. Yeah, maybe take off some of the pouches in the back, but why not? She's already there. And then the last one, why isn't this showing up on Blazing Blade? Because I already had Leon, if I'm being completely honest. But this one is more interesting for who they could also add. My boy Dorcas. And Dorcas for the simple reason of maybe we could get a Natasha sprite, his wife, in there. Or, excuse me, not Natasha, Natalie, excuse me. But we get a Natalie sprite in there. I don't know what it is about me and wanting NPCs to show up in Fae a little more often. Natalie, Citri, just off the cuff, Matan from Engage. I don't know what it is about me wanting those NPCs to show up and have a little bit more background, but I guess it's the fact that the opportunity is there to be able to give those flesh those characters out even further than they are. Because Citri, if I'm remembering correct, I could be wrong on this, but correct me if I am. Please feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But if I'm remembering correctly, we didn't even see Citri. We didn't even see what she looked like until the Ashen Wolves DLC. Spoiler warning? Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, if I'm remembering correct, it's been a while since I played either. either Three Houses, the Ashen Wolves DLC, or Three Hopes. So, admittedly, I could be wrong. But you don't even see Citri until that DLC. I'm pointing at Dorcas White right now. I apologize. It's just... Meh. But... we also got Altina, who literally only shows up in a still in Tellius. If I'm remembering. Please. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, yeah. Okay. So, we got Altina. She's a still. We got Brigand Boss. He's an NPC boss. And we got... excuse me. Elamine. Who... the only time we see her... I think she's got a piece of still art that's her group. Whatever... the, 8 Guardians, I think it was. Or maybe 10 Guardians. And then she shows up as a special appearance character from Mario Kart Double Dash. Those characters are in Fae. But the mother of the main character and Homeboy's wife aren't in yet? Come on, IS, throw us a bone here. Let's have a little fun with it. Oh, and I also forgot, Gatekeeper's in. I'm not necessarily saying Gatekeeper was a bad character or a bad idea. Those that voted for him, you got your wish. Congratulations. But I'm saying all of those other NPCs are already in Fae. We can't get Homeboy's wife or Byleth's mom. Either of them. Now, with those of the visual descriptions aside, honorable mentions. Fagato, because again, he isn't in Fae yet, and I think he would look rather dapper as a butler or server or tea server. And Vander, the only member of the Divine Dragon's Guard we don't have yet. And he also, if I may say so myself, looks like a rather dapper gentleman. And already has that nice looking suit for the butler, again, server role. Anybody else off the top of my head? Actually, now I'm stopping to think about it, and since we're on the topic of Engage anyway, last one I think would actually be an interesting call for this one would be Bunei. Because he's obsessed with preparing food, and I don't think it would be that far of a stretch to see him serving it either. So, what do you think of these predictions? Am I completely off base, or do I have an idea, or would you rather see one of the other banners I mentioned, or do you have an idea of a banner of your own that could pop up in this location? Because again, if it's not the T banner, it's pretty much free-for-all. Which is why I've had a great deal more to talk about than usual in these predictions. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you did. Next week, I will either be free pulling, or if I'm able to scrounge up enough orbs, I will be going in on Hathorn, whom I can pronounce, and I apologize if I'm saying it wrong, but I'm going to try anyway. Eichburner banner next week. So I'm going to sadly leave the New Heroes Returns banner behind. But until that video next week and next time, I will see you on the battlefield. Take care, everyone.